Did you know that getting closer to God is not about doing more things, but about letting go? About letting go the things that we carry with us. In this video, I will show you things that you need to let go of, that you need to stop doing, so that you can have a closer and more intimate relationship and walk with God. What I never realized was that my judgment of other people was bringing judgment on me immediately. In my thoughts, I was immediately aware of everything that I was doing wrong, every place that I was falling short, every sentence that I said wrong, every emotion that I had wrong towards other people. So I really had to learn to stop doing that. The moment a judgment forms in my mind of someone else, something that they said, clothes that they're wearing, something that they did or was doing, I have to just let it dissolve. Just let it dissolve into nothingness. And then the moment that that happens, my mind is freed up to really start thinking about the things that are important, things that are above and not things that are beneath. Have you ever seen how when you try to do something that someone described to you about their walk with God, and you try to do that exactly like that in your life, then everything just falls apart? That's what I experienced as well. So what I learned was I had to really let go of all of my preconceived notions about what a relationship with God is, and I needed to find my own way. And the only way that I could find my own way, and the only way that you can find your own way, is by listening to Him and letting Him dictate the terms of your yielding, the terms of your surrender, if I can put it that way, the terms of your relationship. Having a relationship with God is not what you think. It isn't what I thought it was going to be. In fact, it is much more rewarding. It is much easier. It is much more encompassing. It is much more fundamental than I ever could have imagined. What I'm starting to realize now is, even before I was completely converted, became a full-on believer in Jesus Christ, He was directing my life to that point. And even when I thought there was nothing going on, even when I thought I was in the valley of the shadow of death, which I maybe was, He was directing my life. I can now see, according to what I have learned in the past 2 years, there has been no part of my life that He hasn't had a hand in, with or without my knowing, for my good at all times, although I didn't realize it. You know that verse that says, don't lean on your own understanding, but in all things submit your self unto God, for He cares for you? I think is one of the most misunderstood verses in the Bible. Not because we don't understand what it's saying, but we misunderstand how much it needs to be applied. It's not just big decisions, it's everything. You need to discount your own understanding at all times, submit every thought to Him, and then He takes the lead with that. Because we are not supposed to be in control. We were not made to be in control. If we were in our perfect state, like Adam and Eve were, and they never gave up control, then we could have had control. But now we are in a fallen state, genetically, spiritually, and we cannot handle having control of anything. That is why we need to cede control to Him every moment of every day, because He is the hand and you are the glove. Let that sink in. You are only the glove. He is the hand. He is supposed to be doing, you are supposed to be yielding. You are supposed to give over control moment by moment, thought by thought, action by action, word by word. Then, becoming a living sacrifice is not an act of your will, but an act of your yielding. And when it is an act of your yielding, He can do so much more with it. You will be astounded at the results. I host regular workshops on Zoom where I teach people the system that God taught me for me to be able to recognize His voice in and between all of the other noise of our world. It's called the Retroactive Prophetic Verification System. If you want to learn more about that, check out the link in the description, and you can sign up and join me for a workshop. But you need to hurry up because the places in the workshops are limited, because I need to get to every person if they need some special advice or one-on-one attention in the workshop.